All right. It is so exciting to be here tonight. It is 9 at Night. I'm Christine Campbell, your host, and I have an incredible co-host tonight. We're 9 at Night is every weekday night from Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So easy to remember. 9atnight.com is the website. You can go there anytime to watch any of the recordings and just see who is on the show. But tonight is all about the business. Every night is titled a topic. So tonight it's all about the business, and that's the business of network marketing. And I'm so excited to have my co-host. He is actually the coach that works directly with Robert Kiyosaki. And so I want to introduce him here. He is mainly, oops, I got the wrong one, guys. Let me put this back up and let me get the right one here. So here we go. This is Chris Lecheminant, and let me mention a few things about him. He is definitely very, very skilled about what he's going to teach tonight. He has a 7-week course. We're on week 2. Okay, so last week you can go to 9atnight.com podcast page and you can get last week's. But Chris Lecheminant in April of 2005 is when he joined the Professional Education Institute as a personal coach for the Rich Dad licensed accounts of Choose to Be Rich, Rich Dad Real Estate, Rich Dad Franchise, and Rich Dad Entrepreneur. He also coached the Jack Canfield Success Principles in addition to other programs that the company offered. And Chris has one of the highest client retention rates in the company. He's coached thousands of clients from over 100 countries around the world to success and personal discovery. And in 2006, Chris founded the DTE Consulting and Desert Toad Expeditions. And we're going to find out just what that is as well. And that was established to provide independent consulting and coaching programs that combine all of the experience and resources available through experience, as well as active research and study to business owners and individuals desiring business and personal improvement. So Chris's most powerful program is 12 Steps to Freedom and a Life Well Lived. And that's designed to create crystal clear clarity so each client can follow a customized plan full of purpose and passion. We're lucky because he's just here with 9 at Night, and I can't wait to introduce him. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Christine. It's good to be here.
Boy, you know, those are mouth words, big words.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, you know, what I want to do is I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about your incredible choice to just work directly for Robert Kiyosaki. How did that happen?
Oh, that was an interesting journey. In the mid 90s, I started down the path of personal development. And in the process of doing that, I ended up reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And there's a whole story behind that. And then it wasn't that long after that, I thought, you know, it'd be interesting to learn more about that. And I was at a networking event, and I was talking to this person. They said, "Oh, we do the Rich Dad coaching." I said, "You got to be kidding me! That's exactly what I want to do," and I didn't even know what it was. You know, it's just I want to do that. And she said, "Well, we don't have any openings." I said, "Well, just let me know." And about 6 months later, I got the call, and she said,
Wow.
"I need your resume. We have an opening," because I usually didn't. And anyway, at the time, I was the 6th Rich Dad coach in existence. Or no, number 8. I was number 8.
Wow.
I was number 8.
How many does he have now? How many does he have now, real quick?
2 in the whole world. I'm one of 2.
Really? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is so cool.
Yeah, it used to be, it was all one-on-one coaching. I did just thousands of hours of coaching individual people all over the world. And now it's all Zoom-based large group format coaching. And so it's not what it used to be. And it's actually, oh, can I say it? It's easy, because it's this big group of people, answer questions in the chat, you're done. Where one-on-one was, you didn't know from person to person, week to week, what they were going to come at you with as a coach and what help they needed. And it was great. I loved it.
So you learned by being in the trenches.
Oh yeah.
I love that. I mean, that is so powerful. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to you then, so we can get going. Explain. Oh, I know what I was going to show you, because I wrote down exactly. These are the licensed accounts that you have, And then it's all about Robert Kiyosaki, cash flow
Yeah.
quadrant. But these are the seven,
Yeah.
this is a 7-week course. So do you want to go briefly for each one, and then let's get started with today's?
Yeah, that'd be great. I hope what I can do is encourage you to want to come back for more, because every time I added another piece to this is because I just felt like I need more explanation of this idea. And the BI triangle is one of those, because talking about the cash flow quadrant pushes me right into, you got to understand the BI triangle, and there's not a lot of time to do that. And so a whole segment on the BI triangle just made sense to me. And then the other part is that the people really don't understand what money is, and money is debt, actually. And so being able to take some time to explain that, I think, is very important. And then one of the ones that I added after we got started with this was, but you need to understand the language of money to really understand what we're talking about. And so there's another one now where we discuss what I call the language of money, and it's not that hard. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not big into all that stuff. I grab my calculator for simple computations, but understanding the language of money is actually critical. And then understanding our monetary system, because if you don't understand that, you will always fall behind, in my opinion, in financial well-being. And then we look at inflation, because well, for many, many years, I've been talking about get ready, get ready, get ready for inflation. It's one of the reasons why I acquire gold and silver. And anyway, knowing why inflation is here, what you can do about it is really the big step. I hope everybody can understand is you don't have to sit back and take it. You can actually take offensive maneuvers against inflation. It's actually pretty cool. So we'll talk about that. And then the last one is, now that you know all this stuff, it'd be a good idea to plan for making changes. Changes based on what you've learned. And a lot of people either avoid goal setting or they don't do it well. And so it's good to get some great information about goal setting that works, because that's one of the things that I discovered as I was coaching people was, they don't do very well at goal setting. So let's figure out a way for them to get better at it. And I applied it as well. So it's my experience in goal setting too.
Well, excellent. Well, I'm gonna bow out here and let you take over. I'm excited to learn.
Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll do my screen share. All right, very good. So the first thing I bring up is what we call the cash flow quadrant, because when we talked about the last time we met, it makes sense that there's a better way to create income and to provide for our needs and to provide for our families. And this pattern of moving from the E quadrant to the S quadrant to the B quadrant, participating in the I quadrant is really very smart. It's tried and true. I've seen thousands do it, and I do it, and I think it's great. But one thing you got to be aware of, though, is this is not investment advice. It never is. It's coaching, and it's education. And the reason you want to hear that and be glad that it's not investment advice is because I'll tell you this, if someone were to give me investment advice without looking at my personal financial situation, then all they are really doing is giving me a generic advice, and they're probably selling me something they'll make money on. And so be glad when someone says, no, 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 this is not investment advice, it's education, unless they understand your personal financial situation. Okay, so tonight what I want to do is I want to start with a story, and it is a rich dad coaching story. In my early years, the first couple of years coaching people, I had a gentleman in the South who came to coaching. I was personally coaching him, and one of his goals was to acquire a business. He was a welder, and so he's trying to figure out learn more about business and figure that all out. And he had retained the services of a business broker to help him while we were coaching. And one week he came to his coaching session, we're talking, and he said, something really weird happened. My business broker called me and said, hey, you're kind of smart about business. Can you help me with something? And he said, how come they think I'm smart about business? I said, well, think about it. For the last few weeks, we've been working together. We've been using the language of business and finance. We've been learning the right words and what they mean and how they can be applied. And so you actually do sound smart about business. He says, but I don't know anything about business. And here's what she asked me. She said, could you go with me to a restaurant that's struggling and see if we can help them? And he said, why do they want me to do this? I don't know anything about business. And I said, well, that may be true, but you're learning the language of business. So here's what I would suggest. Go with the information we're going to talk about called the BI triangle. And so we had this discussion about the BI triangle and what it's all about. And I said, when you walk into that business, all you need to do is just look around and think, what one or two integrities of business are they missing? What are the worst things going on here when it comes to the 8 integrities of business? He said, well, okay, I'll do it, but I'm nervous. I say, you'll do fine. Anyway, he goes and he meets with these people. They actually closed the restaurant. They were struggling so bad they closed the restaurant. And so they're sitting in this empty restaurant talking, and he's asking questions. And in the end of their discussion, he said, well, here's what I would suggest. And he picked 2 of the business integrities we're going to talk about tonight. And he said, you could do this and this and this, and you could do this and this and this. And he gave them those suggestions. And they said, oh, okay, that sounds great. And he stands up and he goes to walk out, and they called him back. And they said, you are brilliant. They were just so excited about the information. And he walks out and he comes to his next call. And again, he's just dumbfounded. He says, I don't get it. They tell me I'm brilliant and I don't know anything. I said, well, you know the BI triangle now, and you know what to look for. So at least you sound smart and you were able to give him some good ideas, right? And he says, I think so. So anyway, with that in mind, I want to share with you some details about the BI triangle. It was introduced briefly last time we met, but the BI triangle it's a rich dad principle, and we call it the 8 integrities of business. When I first started coaching, I called it the 8 components of a business. And I also said that there are 8 equally important components. And I've since learned in getting a lot of training from Robert Kiyosaki and his advisors that I was wrong. For one, it's the 8 integrities of business, and the word integrity is used very, very intentionally. Integrity, the quality or condition of being whole or undivided. Completeness. So a strong word for a strong set of principles we call the BI triangle. And then the other thing is they aren't all equal. They're in their certain locations for a reason, and we'll go through those now. So the first one is mission. It's at the bottom, it's at the base of the triangle, and it holds everything up. Without mission, everything just falls out. So mission is the most critical. When I think about mission, one of the things I love is what I learned from The Art of the Start. I was studying Guy Kawasaki's, not Kiyosaki, Guy Kawasaki's work. And in The Art of the Start, he talks about how the mission should make meaning. And he says to make meaning where we mean this. It could make the world a better place, the mission of the business. The mission could increase the quality of life. It could right a terrible wrong, or it could to prevent the end of something good. Or what's really cool is I've learned over the years of applying this to my businesses and others, if you have more than one of those that's prevailing in your mission, even better. A really cool business, in my opinion, would be one that has all 4. Wouldn't that be something? You make the world a better place. You increase the quality of life. You right terrible wrongs, and you prevent the end of things that are good. That's a possibility, and mission is critical to your business. So as you think about your business, particularly network marketing, what is your mission? What is the mission of the company you represent? And what is your mission in that business? And it better not be about you. Okay. What do you do that's meaningful in the world? Next, we're going to go to team. Now, team is one of the other sides of the frame of the BI triangle. And team is really important to me as well, because I used to think, well, I was trained in the school system that if I got help from somebody else, it was cheating. We call that cheating. But in the real world, it's called collaboration, and it's very, very important. And we, when we're coaching people in the Rich Dad program, we constantly say, look, if you're the smartest one on your team, you're in trouble. I love knowing that I have others that are smarter than me, that are part of my team and support me in the building and flourishing of my business. And again, in network marketing, one of the cool things there is a lot of your team is already provided. They do that for you. The third one, the other framing part, is leadership. And these are my own words. When you learn to be a great leader, your value in the marketplace will always be recognized and in demand. I truly believe that. There's a lack of really good leadership. There's a lot of people that are out there leading in a way that's all about me, but true servant leadership is very, very scarce, in my opinion. And if you learn to be a great leader, oh, even if your business failed for some reason, you always have a place in the world because leadership is in high demand. So that's pretty cool as well. Now what we're going to do, now that we've gone through the frame of the triangle, we're going to the 5 parts that represent management, the management integrities of the business. And again, they fall in a certain order. At the base is cash flow. Cash flow is at the base, holding the rest of the management functions up. The reason why? Cash flow is critical to the business. It's like blood flow to the human body. And all of us have probably had those situations where we've run out of money. How 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 healthy do you feel in your business when you don't have any money left? Cash flow crunches are really a challenge. And so it's really, really important that you're able to learn how to be a great manager of cash flow. One of the things that I find as I'm coaching others, as I'm out doing consulting in my DTE consulting business as well, is that the misunderstandings of cash flow, or the lack of understanding of cash flow, is often one of the major components to problems in a business. Cash flow management, very, very important. Next one is communications. And there's actually 2 types of communications we're talking about here. There's internal communication and there's external communication. And you need to become skilled at both. Now, what does internal communication look like? So internal communication is all that communication that goes on with your employees, with your team, with all those people that are inside the business with you in some way. And being able to be a great communicator internally is very, very important, especially in a leadership role. It's one of the things that I've come to really focus in on over the last couple of years, is how valuable great communication is. In fact, it's my opinion that most of the problems inside any organization find their origins in miscommunication. And so I think internal communication is critical, and learning how to have those difficult conversations with others is a big deal. And you want to learn to do that. And then the external communication, it's that ability to communicate to others as well outside of your organization. But it's also the way in which people perceive you and your company. So it is marketing, it is branding, it is everything that touches the outside world that would help somebody form an opinion about your business. And so that's a big deal as well. You know, learning how to communicate what you do and how you do it, and drawing people in to want what you have in your business is critical as well. Get good at that one, and I don't think you'll ever have a problem out in the world being a great communicator of your business and what it is and what you do, and drawing them in to want what you have. Next one up is systems. And I always say this: anything that consistently repeats in your business should have a system designed to handle the repetition. So if you start thinking about all the things you do in your business, identify all those things that tend to happen again and again and again. And you want to design some way in which it can be taken care of in a more hands-off way if possible. Because the one thing I don't think any of us really want to do is fall into the trap of working harder and harder and harder as the business grows. What we want to do is work smarter and smarter and actually work less and less and be able to delegate out to others the work that's being done. Systems allow us to do that. Although I'm not a big fan of McDonald's, it's one of my favorite examples of systems, because here's what I anticipate would happen if you walked into McDonald's just about any time. You could say, "Hey, is the owner here?" And there's a good chance that they'll say, "Oh no, the owner's not here." So the owner doesn't have to be there. Why? Because there's systems in place that take care of everything. And then if you look at the overall systems of the business, they're very detailed and precise, and it's hard to mess it up, right? One of the reasons I think people go to McDonald's is not because they have the greatest food in the world. They know exactly what they're going to get because the systems create the same result over and over and over again, the result we expect as a customer. If you've ever gone to a restaurant and had something you just really loved, thought it was great, then you go back again another time and you order the same thing and it's different, not in a good way, you're going to be disappointed. You may actually not go back to that restaurant. And the genius of systems is that it creates that consistent experience that the customer is choosing to get. So it keeps your business stable and your customers happy with the results they're getting because it's consistent. Systems do that. There's a book called Misfortunes 101. I read it years ago. It's over on this bookshelf. Douglas Andrew is the name of the author. In one part of it, he says systems is an acronym for save yourself time, energy, and money. So system is an acronym, save yourself time, energy, and money. And I believe that. So one of the things you want to pay close attention to as you start, grow, look at starting a business, whatever it is you're going to do in business when it's your own, is be very aware of what systems can do for you. Systems is one of the keys that allows us to move from the S quadrant, self-employed, starting our business, to the B quadrant, where we employ others to do the business for us. All right, the next management integrity is legal. Now, unless you're trained in the profession of law, I would delegate this one to team members that are competent and good legal advisors. So I love this one because I think about, well, both tax and law. I think about the mountains of documentation that has to be learned to be a good advisor. I don't want to do that. I like to be a generalist when it comes to legal and tax, and I love to add on my team the specialist in legal and tax. And I recommend that to you as well, unless you are a legal advisor already. Let somebody else do that one. And then the last one is product. And here's one of the things that's interesting to recognize in the BI triangle. Product is the smallest part of the entire BI triangle. And it's weird, isn't it? Because if you think about it, we've always been taught that, oh, it's all about the product. It's all about the product or the service that we have. That's everything. And I'll go back to McDonald's on this one. I'll say, is it really all about the product? Do people just, oh, the best hamburger in the world is McDonald's? No, it's decent food. I know what I'm getting. It's fast, whatever it is. So it isn't the product really that drives McDonald's, in my opinion. It's all the rest of the BI triangle, particularly systems, because we know exactly what we're going to get each time we go, wherever we go into a McDonald's. So the products and service is something that you want to say, okay, that's important. I'm not going to throw anything out there into the marketplace just because I think it's okay, or I think it's good, or it's what I want. It still has to be something that others want. So we do want to do the research and make sure it is a product or service that is what others want, and then make sure that the perceived value, I didn't say the value, but the perceived value is greater than the cost associated with that. So we always want to be providing something of value that somebody's willing to give up their hard-earned income to pay for. So that's important as well. And as I was alluding to earlier, here's the cool thing when it comes to network marketing. Yeah, a lot of it's already provided for you. At least 5 of the 8 integrities are if the network marketing business is a good one. They're going to provide you the product or service. The legal will be taken care of. The systems are already there for you to just plug in and go. The mission is identified and the team is there behind you. Often the team is called the back office. I remember when I joined a network marketing company years ago for the first time, even pre-Rich Dad, well, way pre-Rich Dad actually, I was really surprised when I signed up that all I had to do was open up a website link and I just filled in the blanks and my website was ready to go after about 10 minutes of filling in the blanks. I thought, that's incredible. What a great system. I didn't even know what I was at the time. So when you're looking at network marketing businesses, perhaps you're thinking about doing that, you want to escape being an employee perhaps, then be sure and look and see which of the 8 integrities of business are already provided for me. And that will be a good indicator of whether they're a good business or not. I think you got to have at least 5. So no matter what happens in your own business, learning the skills of leadership, cash flow management, and communications, which are the 3 that you are responsible for in network marketing, you'll always be desirable in the marketplace. And in my opinion, in life, when I think about all the things I do outside of my business and income generating work, volunteer work that I do, and things that I like to do that I believe create great meaning for me and those around me, leadership, cash flow management, communications are huge in helping those meaningful activities thrive and succeed. So with that, here you go. Now you can be brilliant in your own business by using the BI triangle. Thank you for participating in this presentation tonight, and I hope this makes sense to you, and I hope you're really excited that, hey, I can do business. I can do business because now I'm going to learn all the 8 integrities of business and be very, very successful. Christine, I'll turn it back over to you.
Excellent. If you want to take your slides down,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is time we can have just a quick chat. We're going to have a break for a wonderful nonprofit charity. We're going to play a little bit about that and another short commercial, and then we're going to come back. We have a lot of questions, and I wrote down some topics too. And one thing is I want us to be thinking about policy and procedures, what that all consists of. So let's go back with that right after these messages. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Here's the information for Chris Lecheminant, president of DTE Consulting. We'll go back to that.
Having a child in the hospital is incredibly hard for parents and really difficult for the child too. But seeing a child smile because we were able to add a little bit of happiness and fun to their healthcare journey is an amazing feeling. In fact, it's our passion. Working in the US and overseas, I was sad to see that healthcare-related pain and suffering is universal. So, in 2010, Standish Foundation for Children began work to transform the healthcare experience for children. Today, we work to create new ways to help children and their families make the best of a tough situation.
Our caring and dedicated team is volunteer-led and made up of patients and parents, as well as professionals who are clinicians, educators, and advocates. Our team members have devoted their lives to helping children and are experts in addressing the psychosocial needs of patients and their families. Together with healthcare providers and donors, we work to make the healing process more hopeful and happy.
Our team collaborates with children's hospitals, clinics, and nonprofit organizations in the U.S. and around the world. We also support hospitalized children of U.S. military personnel. We guide in the education of staff and parents, teach child advocacy, offer psychosocial support, and give financial assistance to make the child's healthcare experience as positive as possible.
As healthcare technology continues to evolve, it's important to remember to embrace our common humanity. Fear is present for well checks, emergency room visits, as well as complex care involving surgery, chemotherapy, or organ transplantation. These procedures are scary, and we believe that no child should have to be afraid to go to the hospital or to the doctor's office. We know the research and strategies to minimize pain and suffering, and we know healthcare and healing can be positive. In fact, when children experience healthcare in a positive way, it contributes to their physical and emotional well-being, helping them reach their full potential.
We are honored to have donated over $200,000 and hundreds of volunteer hours to support 40 hospitals and clinics in the U.S. and overseas. Annually, our programs impact over 500,000 children. We need your help.
We need your help.
Now we need your help.
We need your help.
We need your help.
To further transform children's healthcare experiences and to ensure each child and family has access to a positive, hopeful, healing experience.
Okay, we're back with Chris Lecheminant and Coach, and for Rich Dad Poor Dad, and we sure appreciate you being here. What we're going to do now, we're just going to kind of, here's his contact information, and it's just, we'll go back to that. But Chris, I have questions, and
All right.
you've inspired, and any of you that are on here today that are viewers, just if you have any questions for Chris, just put them in the chat if you have any thoughts that came up out of this. But number one, I love the BI triangle concept. We have 8 integrities that are key components of holding this all together.
Right.
Now, when it comes to this, there's also the policy and procedures, and that falls into quite a bit. I know,
Yeah.
and I've only been in network marketing for a little over 2 years, and I did not read those. And you bet I had fun.
Yeah.
Made a lot of mistakes, but I was able to finally learn, oh, we're supposed to read these, and they make absolute sense, because there's times with these that if it is misrepresented in any way, it could shut it down for everybody else.
Right.
That's how crucial they are. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, so really what we're looking at is a lot of the parts of a business. It's like spider webs into all these different parts of the BI triangle, isn't it? Because number one, we're looking at systems. If everybody follows the policies and procedures, the expectation is those consistent results that we're looking for happen, and there aren't these problems like breaking the law perhaps, or some other issue. So it is a systems-based thing, policies and procedures. It's also a leadership thing, isn't it? Because leaders make it very clear what the expectations are for those that they're leading. And so I believe policies and procedures are also very, very important part of the leadership component. Also part of the communications component, because there could be policies and procedures regarding how we communicate internally. And one of the things that's wrapped all around this, in my opinion, as well, that it isn't part of the BI triangle, but it's like it's built on a foundation of the culture of the business. So I think culture is something that's very, very important as well. It's actually one of my hallmark consulting things that I do is help a company rebuild or establish their culture, because it flows through all of this as well. And if you want people to behave a certain way, you got to create a culture that allows them enough freedom to do their job, but keep them in their lane, so to speak, as well. So I'm glad you asked that question, because it's not this cut and dried, well, that's team.
Mhm.
Oh, that's communication. Well, no, it's communication, leadership, mission, and so on. If we were to just go back to the Standish Foundation that we just watched, wasn't that mission crystal clear?
It was very clear.
Yeah,
Mhm.
crystal clear mission, but I don't know who the team is, but I'm sure they've got a great team. Leadership is in place. The whole reason we're presenting the Standish Foundation is because if the word doesn't get out, cash flow doesn't happen,
Mhm.
because it's not your typical here's the service, payment in return. It's a lot of volunteer work, a lot of well, it's still cash flow management, but the cash that comes in comes from a different way than what we would normally think about in the
Well,
business.
and absolutely, I think it has a little bit of all of the
Yes.
integrities,
Oh, it does.
including the legal as a
Yeah.
base. The main
Absolutely.
thing, but
Yes.
including the team effort, we work as a team, we all succeed, and we
Mhm.
don't have to fight, those that are trying to
Right.
shut us down because it's not done right. One thing is, I showed a short commercial on the book I wrote, right?
Yeah.
And from all of my mistakes I learned, it's like somebody quitting a habit, maybe that's of anything. They're so on the other side big time. This
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
is all about, it talks about policy and procedures importance. It doesn't talk about the particular business I'm in personally, but it's for anybody, whether you're in network
Right.
marketing or not, because of following those rules. But I'm going to be
Yeah.
republishing it. I do want to mention the 8 integrities. This is phenomenal training.
It is, and I bet if you go through the current edition, you every page you could write, oh, this covers this integrity, this covers this integrity, oh, this covers this integrity, and pretty soon you could probably create an index around the BI
Mhm.
triangle for your book, pointing to where you talk about the 8 integrities of business from your point of view.
Well,
It's
if I do that, then I'm going to have to mention Chris Lecheminant.
no, don't, no, it's the 8 integrities of business are a rich dad thing that I just live by. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
not my idea.
Well, no, I learned it from you. I mean, I'm just
Right.
trying to plug you right in there, and I
Oh,
will.
yeah, yeah.
So, so now here's something else. Systems is huge.
Mhm.
I've not being in network marketing before, I've seen it scared me to death when people were growing so fast because they
Right.
know the social media, or they've been with another company and had a lot of members. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I'm horrible, I'm just going slow compared to them. But I do know that we're solid, without where a lot of them come and go. So I
Mhm,
really
mhm.
believe what keeps it in is systems. And I'm learning how to
Yeah.
build, and I know we have great leaders that I personally know that have incredible systems. But
Mhm.
let's talk about the cornerstones of a system.
Yeah, so, that's an interesting way to look at it. So if we recall back to what I said, a system is something you want to put in place when it's repeating, when it happens over and over again. So you talk to somebody, oh, great. Tell me, I'm busy, but do you have a card? Do you have something you give to me? So your business card is a system, but that system takes them to the website system, or whatever it is that you send them to when you're not able to, when there's isn't the time to share the information with them at the moment. You want those systems in place so you don't have to say, okay, I got to call them and talk to them about this. is there something you can do that they could watch or do, so you could be talking to 5 other people and sending them to that same system, instead of you doing all the talking, all the presenting, all the work that goes into enrolling somebody in your company. So systems are key to growth, in my opinion. Plus, I don't think there's anybody that wants to work a lot harder for the same amount of money or income that's being generated. Why not just work smarter and be a systems driven person? Plus, again, just that reminder that systems create a consistent experience for people. I think that's important as well.
Well, I think so too. What I want to do is bring up this slide about your information. Anybody wanting to get a hold, I'm going to let you discuss the best way to get a hold of you.
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is not the website, because it's in the middle of being rebuilt. So it's like, how old is that website? It's old. Okay. So the best way is just either text me. If you call, leave me a message, but text is better, identifying who you are, and they'll know who I'm talking to. See, one of the reasons why I actually disabled contact on the websites, because I get 25 spam emails every day. It was just incredible. I thought, enough of that. So anyway, even if you tried to email me through the website, it won't work. So the best way is just simply text or call, leaving your information so I can call you back. And then my email address, Chris@DTSuccess, is also available too.
Excellent. There's all kinds of questions out there that come up to you.
Yeah.
But I think I had your list. Let's talk about next week's. I thought I had it here. The slides at the beginning.
Yeah.
So
Let's see.
let's talk about next week's lesson.
Oh yeah, money is debt. Okay.
Now you
So
have 3 lessons that have money, or 4 of them have money. So let's ABC this.
yeah. So anyway, one of the things I think is just critical is that money is not evil. It's neutral, and we'll talk about that when we talk about these different aspects of money and what it is and how we can use it to our advantage. It's just like about anything. A vehicle in the wrong hands is very dangerous. A vehicle in the right hands is a tremendous resource and tool for us, and the same with many things out there. And so I feel the same way about money. And if you don't understand what money is today, you're already at a huge disadvantage. Guarantee you that you're at a huge disadvantage if you don't understand what money is today. That's the next lesson. And then we're going to look at what I call the language of money, because you could have a great business, and as long as there's enough money flowing in, you'll probably survive. But if you don't understand particularly cash flow management, it'll only survive so long as people are willing to throw money at it. Eventually it will fail if you cannot manage your cash flow. Tough to manage cash flow if you don't understand the language of money. So that's a big deal to be able to do that. One of the things I think I think is incredible is General Motors should have gone out of business years and years and years ago. Slow to innovate, slow to do all kinds of things, but there's always somebody willing to throw money at General Motors to keep them going. Sometimes it's our taxpayer dollars, not by our choice, but by our government's choice. Too big to fail, whatever you want to call it. But really, they should have gone out of business a long time ago, that big company, because cash flow management and the other parts of the PI triangle, they have some sore issues there. So we want to understand the language of money. And then the monetary system. Okay, so we're going to learn about what money is, and then we're going to learn about how the monetary system is actually built for your demise, in my opinion. But when you understand it, you can work with it. I think it's incredible that just something as simple as when the Federal Reserve has their meetings and they say stuff. If you understand what the monetary system is, you know that what they're saying is something different than what they want you to think they're saying. It's called Fed speak. It's that simple. And so, wow. So if I'm if I understand the monetary system, I'm not going to be pulled into those traps. Or when the government says inflation is because of greedy corporations. No, that's the socialism response to inflation. It's the creation of too much money. And so, yeah, go ahead.
And you're going to be covering that inflation as well. You know
Yeah.
what I see? We have, oh my gosh, we have the very best of the coaches such as yourself on Monday night. And he's not here tonight because it's tax season, but that's
Right.
our CPA, Richard Bruff. He's a forensic CPA, and he always comes in with his CPA tips of a home-based business and the benefits of it. So he has
Yeah.
something for us each week. Then we have you, and this is all on Monday night. Then we have you, and you're the coach through Robert Kiyosaki's methods, which we all adore. Robert Kiyosaki, if you're in a home-based business, you get it.
Yeah.
And then we jump to Thursday night, where we
Right.
have Ray Patterson, the chartered financial analyst, and you have the basics and teach the values of money. He tells you what's happening today, and
Yeah.
it may not be in so many nice words. That's
Right,
why
right.
I can't put him on YouTube. I have to put him on Rumble.
Well, he wrote the book on the Fed, essentially, or he's writing the book on the
He
Fed.
is
So,
writing the book too,
yes.
but this is so powerful, being surrounded by these experts such as yourself to really get forefront educated for our own protection and for our better
Right.
business.
Right. Right. So as we said, we do have a presentation on inflation as well. And then the goal setting one, I just felt like I said before, okay, so I got this information. I know I want to make some changes, but how do I do it and make those changes stick? It is goal setting. And then everybody rolls their eyes and goes, oh, that never works for me. Well, there's reasons why it doesn't work. And I'll break it down, make it simple. And you could start immediately to be good at goal setting and effective and complete goals, where most people say it didn't work.
And
It can.
you're absolutely so right. And then leaning on to that, and I'm going to give you some other topics that I'm going to have
Yeah.
you put. Yeah, I'm going to put you to the test here, Coach. But what's also my specialty is affirmations, positive affirmations.
Mhm.
And that's a lot in my book. And I grew up that way. It's always been that way, being a single mom for 15 years with no financial help and no family around. That was my choice. They said I couldn't do it, and I made sure. That type of thing. And my kids are all alive. They're very successful adults, and my great grandma.
Yeah.
So a lot of years into that. So I think we all have something to add, because we're passionate. You're passionate. You knew that was your heartbeat when you heard about the cash flow quadrant and Robert Kiyosaki.
Mhm.
We all have our passions, but that's a powerful force. So what I'm really happy about, it's not about us. It's us caring enough to get on 9atNight together. And we're on 2 different nights because we couldn't fit all of us on one night. And so we got to share. But 9atNight's the place to go. And that's 9atNight. That's ATNIGHT.com. You can get this replay, tonight's replay, to share it with your friends in the morning. It will be up at the morning, as well as for the past weeks on there. You can get it on the podcast page. So I'm going to put up your information here one more time. And this is where you get a hold of Chris Lecheminant. You know, I had to practice how to say your name the first time.
Yeah.
And the second time, and now it just like flows. It's just
Except for the
amazing.
CH, everything else is pretty much as it's spelled out.
Now, what nationality is that?
It's French, sort of. It's if you were to go to the Channel Islands, Guernsey specifically, and you were to open the phone book, if they still have them there, about 4 pages of that little island's phone book will be Lecheminant's.
Yeah, it's
So
just a
that's
beautiful,
the
just
origin.
like rolls now.
Yeah.
You know, I could barely get it out to be like German speaking it, you know, it wasn't working very well. So that's just wonderful. I sure appreciate each and every time that you're on every week. Now we're lesson 2. Next week's going to be lesson 3.
Right.
And that is really exciting. I want to just lastly say 9atNight, you know, I thought I had a 9atNight poster on here, but I don't. But it's just basically, I'm going to type it in. And here's what else I'm going to type in. is because we're all about wanting to make a positive difference. We have Chris Lecheminant every Monday night. Next Monday night, we'll have our CPA as well, Richard Bruff, and all home-based business. In fact, Richard Bruff consults other network marketing companies worldwide. And that's how he's the one introduced us, Chris. And I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to type in the 9 at Night. And that's the place to really be at to get these different wonderful hosts. And then there is something new, and Chris, you just signed up for it. And it is on Facebook that I'm doing. And this is just Google Sizzle Sessions. And this is the second week on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And this is my way of teaching marketing from 40 plus years of marketing, how to go out of the box with your mindset to make things happen. And so month of April is all about planning an event, how to do it so you're not paying for it. So you get sponsors for it. So that's kind of where we're at. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close a little bit early. We have a big meeting coming up in just a few minutes with some of those in the company that I'm in. So we're going to close out a little bit early. But Chris, any last words on Coach?
Yeah, well, don't make it too complicated. Hopefully, we're explaining things in a simple way that can be applied immediately. And the BI triangle is one of those. Just start thinking through your business based on the BI triangle. One of the things I often do when I'm working with a business owner is tell me which of the 8 integrities is the weakest. And then we go about fixing that one. And then, okay, now which one is the weakest? And we go about fixing that one. And then when you get through all 8, repeat the process. And which one is the weakest link now? And watch your business become so strong because all 8 integrities are in place. It's really that simple.
Wow, that's powerful. That's, simplicity is the most powerful sometimes. That's exactly what it is. Well, we're at it. We're going to call it a night. And again, thank you all for being here. You can email either one of us. This is 9atnight.com. It's right here. And with that, you have an incredible night. We'll see you either tomorrow night at 9 at night or next Monday night or Thursday night or Friday, one of them. We'll see you.
Thanks, Christine.